Now welcome to the Robb Johnson Sports Show, presented by Robb Johnson Media and the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Robb Johnson Sports Show, episode 56. I am your host. I'm your host, Robb Johnson. Welcome you guys to the show tonight. We got a lot of different topics to talk about, First, we're going to start out with this player right here. We're going to start with Jalen Hurts. Well, the question is, ladies and gentlemen, is Jalen Hurts undervalued? Is Jalen Hurts undervalued in the NFL? I asked this question because in the latest edition of rankings, especially from ESPN, they had him outside the top 10. Now, let's look at Jalen Hurts as a whole. I believe he comes from Houston, Texas. Good pedigree as a quarterback, etc. He went to Alabama first. Went to Alabama, had success. Of course, as we know, he got replaced by Tua in the national championship game. So he's had that chip on his shoulder. He goes to Alabama, nearly wins a Heisman Trophy, does a good job and getting his team to a good record, making Lincoln Riley look even better than Lincoln Riley looked when he was at Oklahoma. Then he goes to the NFL. Second-round pick. Jalen Hurts is a second-round pick, goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. As you know, at that time, Carson Wentz was the starter in place for the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, eventually, Carson Wentz can't keep the job. So what happens then? Jalen Hurts gets the job. Now, we look at Jalen Hurts' stats throughout the years. When he played what? He played in 4 games in 2020. Okay, his numbers in 2020: 1,061 yards, 6 touchdowns, 4 picks. 2021, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He progressively got better as a quarterback. 2022 was his breakout year. In 2022, Jalen Hurts had 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he had 3,701 yards. This past season, he had some injury issues, had some other issues going on as well. He had 23 touchdowns with 15 interceptions, 3,858 yards. Problem is, they get to the playoffs and they lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the question is, everyone, and this is a very simple question. It's not hard to digest. It's not hard to understand. Is Jalen Hurts undervalued as a quarterback? Does Jalen Hurts get the credit that he deserves as a quarterback? And if you ask me, this is just what I see, especially with the history of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are a team that, unfortunately, every couple of years, it feels like they start to go through a quarterback snap where they go through quarterback controversies. That's not on them. That's just how their franchise rolls. Am I concerned about Kenny Pickett coming into Philadelphia, maybe challenging Jalen Hurts for that starting job? No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is that Eagles fans are very impatient. And if you have a guy like Jalen Hurts and he starts to struggle too much, he starts to not give you that production that you were used to. And let's be honest, what do you have? What I said, what was the number? 22 touchdowns to 23 interceptions, to 22 touchdowns to 23 touchdowns. The numbers aren't that high. And you have to also look at, you lose your center in Kelsey. Are you still going to – is a tush push still going to be able to be effective? Because that's a big part of his game is a tush push. You bring in Saquon Barkley. You already have the weapons in Brown, Devontae Smith. You have other weapons on the outside as well. With those weapons, folks, there's no reason that the Philadelphia Eagles should not win the NFC East going away. There's no reason. I know the Cowboys are talented. I know the Cowboys have Dak Prescott. They have a very explosive offense. But the Eagles and the way they've improved on defense, bringing those 2 rookies, there's no reason this team should not run away with this division. I also say that if I am not the Dallas Cowboys, but if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, I try to get him in more positions where he's able to hit screens, make the passes simpler. He doesn't always have to make the complicated pass. The thing I worry about with Jalen Hurts is you have Kellen Moore coming in. What is Kellen Moore going to do for you? We've seen in the past where he's been the OC for Dallas. He let him go. because of certain circumstances. Then last year we saw him in Los Angeles. He did decent with Justin Herbert, but it wasn't anything spectacular. Um, Nick Sirianni, he has to worry because if the Eagles' offense gets progressively better and their defense struggles, then you have to think that I just personally think that the Eagles want to make a change in head coach. And I think they would like nothing more than for Kellen Moore to come in as head coach and take that team to a championship. I truly in my heart believe that. I believe that, there are a lot of teams that believe Kellen Moore is the guy to win them a championship. And I believe Philadelphia is the same way. I think that when you look at the relationship between Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts, it has to work. It has to work. I mean, and I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is that much better than Dak Prescott, but I feel like if you look at it, right, and you look at where Dak came from, what was it, fourth round? Jalen Hurts, second round pick. If he can get the best out of Dak, he should be able to get the best out of this young man as well. So, all the you know, um, congratulations, all the praise to Jalen Hurts. I'm getting this message, guys. Getting still joining here. Join. We got Larry Patterson coming on, guys. He has some obligations to take care of. He'll be on in about 10 minutes. We'll revisit some of these topics, etc., etc. But yeah, he'll join us about 10 minutes from now as we get to that topic. But yeah, we'll get back to the Jalen Hurts topic. We'll talk about how Jalen Hurts, is he undervalued? We'll go back over some of the subjects here. Is Jalen Hurts overvalued? Is he undervalued? I think he's undervalued, in my opinion. So, and then we'll also go over this topic again as we talk about. Do I even have the graphic? Yeah. Well, this is one of the graphics I have. A later topic we have is Anna Kournikova being compared to Angel Reese. But the topic right there, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. Question is, folks, who do you think made the right pick? Who do you think is going to be the next big thing when it comes to quarterbacks in the National Football League? If you ask me, and you get my, honest football evaluation opinion, I was a big Caleb Williams guy for a long time. But I think that Jaden Daniels is catching up. Now, this is not to say that I think that Jaden Daniels is going to be above Caleb Williams. I'm not saying that Caleb Williams is going to be way above Jaden Daniels. I think they'll be just similar. And Chicago. And you have to look at the circumstances, folks, for both teams. You have a Chicago Bears team right now who basically has everything in place. You draft a Dunze, you have Keenan Allen, you have DeAndre Swift, you have everything in place. The offensive line has improved. Most importantly for Caleb Williams, I think that defense improving is so important because it puts less pressure on your rookie quarterback. You look back at Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger when they had that really good defense. Their offense had their struggles. And you have to remember, you look back guys like Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady. It took them some time to start getting those big numbers. But their defenses were so good, it compensated. And I think that's one of the big things for Caleb Williams right now is that he has a defense that can compensate. Now, you bring him in, 2-3 years ago, he doesn't have that compensation. He doesn't have that help. Caleb Williams has a big-time team behind him. And from what I've seen, and then looking at his talent, the former Heisman Trophy winner, in a lot of people's eyes, could have been a Heisman Trophy winner 2 years ago. He could have won it again this past year. Yeah, remember, he lost Jordan Addison. He lost one of his big-time receivers. So that is huge if you are Caleb Williams, knowing that you lost all of that. Now, he lost all he had. Jaden Daniels, he had Malik Nabers. He had I believe it was Brian Thomas on that team. He had a plethora of weapons at LSU. Let's not get it confused. He had a lot of great weapons at LSU. Now, what you have to look at is I want to look at before. All right. So you had Jaden Daniels at Arizona State. Didn't work out the best. Transferred. He did better. Caleb Williams at Oklahoma, he killed it at Oklahoma. The only reason he left is because Lincoln Riley left. He had success at Oklahoma. He had success at USC. And you have to remember that before Caleb Williams, this entire USC program was struggling big time. He comes in year one, they bring in some talent. They get all the way to the Pac 12 championship game. I believe he got hurt in that game. They played a really good Utah team. This is about 2 years ago now. He gets them to the brink of the playoff. Caleb Williams got USC to the brink of the playoffs. So you really honestly can't take that away from him, right? You can't take away the fact that he got that team closer than anybody's gotten them, what, in a decade at that point? So if it's me and I'm choosing and I'm a GM and I have to choose somebody, you have to you have to give Caleb Williams. Again, the Commanders have done a very good job in the offseason trying to build their team up with 1-year deals, etc. They have a lot of cap space going into next year. If Jaden Daniels ends up playing out, you're going to have to end up paying him. So it's good that they're keeping things under the cap. You can definitely see what the Commanders are doing. They have that. Their new GM is from San Francisco, so they have like that San Francisco type model. Question is, can they completely transfer from what they have with the 49ers over to the Washington Commanders? Um, both fan bases are very, very rabid. Both fan bases, kind of have that mentality. So you really have to see how that's going to go, and especially the Commanders fans. They're very passionate. They're very, very passionate about their football team, and you know, I think that the good thing that the Commanders did, was getting rid of Sam Howell, getting him out the door, not letting that be a distraction, not having Jaden Daniels there and Sam Howell and some fans screaming for Sam Howell. We want Sam Howell. Jaden Daniels is struggling. Listen, I have to still see what this offensive line is going to be. Yes, they got Tyler Biadasz, but he sometimes has injury issues. Sometimes he has issues getting off his blocks. I mean, and blocking well. So I'm not saying Biadasz is not a good player. What I'm saying is that Biadasz is one of those players that you're gonna have to really. Hey, what's going on, Larry? What's going on, Larry? How you doing, brother, man?
What's up, man? What's up, man? My
What's
bad,
up?
man.
Oh no, you good, man. You good. Like I said, we'll revisit the Jalen Hurts topic in a second, because we were talking about that. But basically, we're talking about Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. I said right now, I have to give the advantage of Caleb Williams from what I've seen. Not only what he did at Oklahoma, but what he did at USC. You look at Jaden Daniels; he kind of struggled at Arizona State, and then next thing you know, he comes to LSU. Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, which is the opposite of what Caleb Williams had. Caleb Williams had Jordan Addison last year. He lost all his top weapons, but still had a really good year. So right now, I got to give the advantage, and because of what Caleb Williams has in Chicago, to Caleb Williams. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd rather go with Caleb Williams right now. Just like you touched on with Jaden Daniels. Yeah, he had neighbors. Yeah, he had Brian Thomas. Um, Caleb Williams. The guy's got. I think he's got. Well, both of them have experience, but if you look at the resume, especially with Caleb coming from Oklahoma, then coach to USC. Uh, I'm definitely giving the edge to Caleb right now. Especially from what I'm also hearing out of like camp, and like, I mean, nobody's, I mean, it's some, both of them are dubbed the starters. It should be anyway. But he just that's just me personally. I'm going to give the edge to Caleb because of his experience.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
see. We'll see. That's my problem with Washington right now. And I was just pointing out the fact that I'm glad they got rid of they traded Sam Howell. So because you know how that fan base is at times, hoping that they don't try to make some quarterback controversy with Sam Howell there. Now he's out the door, which is great. But they didn't name him the starter yet in Washington. Caleb Williams was named the starter basically even before he was drafted. And I think that's sometimes the issue with the Commanders. Let it be known. Yes, this is our starting quarterback. What do you think about that? I just feel that Chicago did the right thing. Hey, look, you're our leader, you're our starter. Everybody tried to make a big deal about, oh, he didn't sign yet. He signed before camp, man. A lot of the stuff people try to say about Caleb Williams has just gone out the window.
my man said he knew what he was worth, and what was it? With 32 million guaranteed. My man said he knew it was
I
worth.
think it was 32, and I think it was like 20 some million guaranteed. But no, I agree with you because a lot of people don't know their worth out here, and that's the problem. That's the problem. I mean, not even a sports, but a societal thing. People don't know their worth. You got to know your worth, man.
Got him, got him. So by him making a move like that, it also has me looking at him, giving him the edge because you making a bold move like that. So when the
Mm-hmm.
season starts, you look at what's around him right now with Keenan Allen and who else did they get? I'm blanking.
They got Roma Dunze. They got Cole Komet. I mean, they have one hell of an offense. I mean, their offense is stacked from top to bottom. And not to mention, I think one of the most underrated moves in the offseason, which I think that this team that we talked about before, Philadelphia Eagles, are going to regret getting rid of DeAndre Swift. Why? They should have gave him more carries last year. They got DeAndre Swift on that team, man. Come on now, that's lethal.
Hey, with DeAndre Swift though, like I guess you could understand he's got an injury history. That's what a lot of people. That's what a lot of players I know. But I guess I kind of understand why you would just let him walk. But look who they picked up in return off that.
Yeah, they got Saquon, but we also know that Saquon also has some injury history of his own. Like I said, I still to this day don't understand why the Giants picked him number two. I think he'd have been better served somewhere else. But like I said, that's neither here or there. Um, so let's give you this real quick. Do you think either guy can throw for 5,000 this year?
Um, if a guy's gonna throw for 5,000, I'm giving it to Caleb.
Okay. Do you
That's if
think? Yeah.
quarterback with if I would give it to Caleb though.
I think I put this question out the other day, Jaden Daniels, under or over 4,500 yards?
Under.
Under. And I think this is a big year for Terry McLaurin as well, because I really honestly think that if McLaurin doesn't perform this year, he could be on his way out of Washington. I think that if it doesn't next 2 years possibly, if it doesn't turn out good, they could be going towards divorce. Because I've been calling Terry McLaurin the next Andre Johnson for like 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, because didn't he just sign a deal?
He
Oh,
did, but it is. But you know, the NFL not for long.
oh yeah.
You remember Antonio Brown's deal, right? He signed that big deal. He was gone before the season. So I mean,
Hey,
them NFL deals, bro, don't mean nothing.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So are you giving the edge to Caleb?
Um, I have to because he has the better team around him. He has the better team around him, and I mean, how can you go against that? He has the
Yeah,
better team around him.
yeah,
Like
especially when
so,
the defensive side of the ball too. Like when
exactly.
you're looking at a
Let's
team.
Yeah, definitely. Let's
So
go back to that first topic again real quick. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but nice little graphic I made there. But is Jalen Hurts undervalued? And the point I made is that he only threw for what, 22 touchdowns the year they went to the Super Bowl. He threw 23 last year. But I mean, listen, the Eagles, in my opinion, Larry, are the overwhelming favorite to win the NFC East. If they don't win the NFC East, heads are going to roll big time. If they don't at least make it, in my opinion, to the NFC Championship game or more, heads are going to roll. And you know how it is in Philadelphia. They'll get rid of a quarterback quick. So and we've made this point. Kenny Pickett is now in Philadelphia. Don't let Kenny Pickett come out in the preseason and look good. Just saying. I know he's not. I know he's not good, but this is the best weapons he's ever had, possibly.
it's quarterbacks like that you give an opportunity in training camp and preseason, and they absolutely make the most of it. So, like you said, don't let him get going to where you know I mean, looking good. And you got Jalen looking over his shoulder. When you said what was he under?
Undervalued. Was he undervalued? Is he undervalued? And the reason I say that is because remember ESPN left him out the top 10. So that's what this comes from.
Like damn, after a year. He still. I look at it like this: like he still led his team to the playoffs.
And then they
You
got
know?
murdered by Tampa.
Yeah,
They got
yeah,
murdered by Tampa. And his center, and see, that's the thing I think that's very underrated about this situation. His center within 5 days was, I understand that's his brother, but you're out there celebrating, losing your mind, and you just retired and you lost to Tampa? You went to the Super Bowl a year ago. What do you have to celebrate about? I think there's some, and there have been rumors that Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts do not get along. That's what I'm saying. If they have a start or a rough start to the season, or something bad happens, they brought in Kellen Moore for a reason. This league wants Kellen Moore for some reason to be a head coach so bad that he'll keep getting jobs till he gets a job.
absolutely. You can't say undervalue as far as pay.
Oh no, 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 no.
That, that man got paid.
Yeah,
That
because like I
man
said,
got paid.
I keep hearing people saying, "Where about Jalen Hurts? What about Jalen Hurts?" Well, listen, man, Jalen Hurts has some of the best weapons in the National Football League. If they can't, and I'm gonna tell you something. If everybody goes back to that Week 1 game last year against the Patriots, that's when I knew the Eagles were in trouble. Everybody said it was 10-1, 10-1. No, no, no. Go back to that Patriots game. I'm telling you, if you go back to that Patriots game, from that game on, I knew they were in trouble. I didn't care what game they won, how many points. I knew from that game on they were in trouble.
That was
So
post game
I
too. Right?
yeah, it was like 25-22. And I think Mac
Damn.
Jones had a, and this is why I think people don't pay attention to you pay attention to stats, but you don't pay attention to the whole game. Mac Jones had like 300 yards in that game. When's the next time Mac Jones had 300 yards in a game?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about chemistry with the Eagles, and basically we're asking, is he undervalued? Because I feel there are people in Philadelphia and there are people around the country who still thinks that he's not good. I really believe it. Even though he performed great in the Super Bowl, he did really good. He did have that fumble that
Yeah.
ultimately cost him the game. So, what, in your opinion, what does Jalen Hurts have to do to come out this year and be that MVP type candidate, that guy that leads them to a championship?
Oh man. And the season to me, sometimes I say it would be an overrated situation
Mm-hmm.
because when you're in the season and he's like one of the best quarterbacks in the league through the season, but it's like, damn, well, you got another season to get through. That's the postseason. That's
Exactly.
that's when you really need to show up.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And he's right now he's 2-3 in the playoffs. Two losses came to, actually. Here's the funny thing: both his losses, um, he had two losses to Tampa, one to Kansas City. That's funny. Lost to Tampa. I think they lost to Tampa twice. He lost the Tom Brady game, then he lost to Baker Mayfield, and then the Super Bowl, of course, which there's no shame in that. So. Well, Larry, we talked about that topic. We talked about basically two NFL topics. Let's talk about this topic here, a topic that makes me feel so good inside because we told them. We told them. Which team left for dead? Which team left for dead has is the most dangerous team? Is it a Houston Astros or the Boston Red Sox? I'll start with you, Larry.
I'm going to say no disrespect to the Boston Red Sox
Mm-hmm.
because, as you always talk about, they are one of those teams. By the way, they're down 9-3 to the LA Dodgers right now.
No shame in that. I knew the Dodgers were going to come out hot after the All-Star break. There's no shame in that.
But uh, they I just feel like Houston was in a bad situation early in the year.
Well, you want to talk about bad? And I think around this time, we were telling people be very careful because I think we read the schedule. We were telling people be very careful. On June 18th, they were down 10 games.
Yeah,
They were out 10. They were out 10 games. And what happened? What happened? They're now in first place.
they had down
I,
and shame
yeah.
shame on the Seattle Mariners.
Well,
Shame.
I mean, what do you expect? The Seattle Mariners. But listen, we have to give credit. We got to give some love here to Rafael Devers. Right now, he leads the Red Sox in home runs. He leads them on batting average. He has 291 batting average, 23 home runs, 61 RBIs, 374 OBP, and Duncan leads them with 117 hits. If you look at their team right now, honestly, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't be in the race. The closest person in home runs is Tyler O'Neill, and he's like 29 years old, and he has 18. So when we talk about MVPs, if Boston were to make a serious run and Devers were to continue to play this type of baseball, you got to give him consideration. Because where would the Red Sox be without him? And then the Red Sox will probably trade him after the season. That's what they do these days. That's what Boston does these days. I honestly think, as you know, again, Houston is starting to get rolling, right? You look at the other divisions. The Yankees are doing good, but the Red Sox are on their butts. The Orioles lead the division. You look at other teams in the AL. Who do you really trust? Do you trust the Twins? Do you trust these teams? No. You look at the Rangers. The Rangers have taken a little bit of a step back after winning the World Series. If it hadn't been for those Texas Rangers, the Astros would have been back in the suit in the World Series. And these clowns out here can call them cheaters all they want to, blah blah. Look, it comes to a point where you just can't stop them.
No, you can't.
Yeah, and I said at the beginning of the season, I said, yep, they got beat down by the Yankees, but that means absolutely nothing when it comes to August, September, and October. It means absolutely nothing.
That's when it matters.
Yeah, they are a dangerous, dangerous baseball team.
Got 3 guys right now over 100. Yeah.
I know this is a little bit off topic, Larry, but I need to ask you this. In your opinion, which franchise over the years has been more cursed? The Mariners or the now Guardians? Because it just feels like every time we look up, it's just like they're struggling. They do something good and then they have issues finishing the deal. We can look at Cleveland blowing that 3-1 lead.
Yeah. You gotta look at both. You gotta look at both of them, man.
Honestly, if I'm looking at this from an unbiased perspective, and I'm looking at how much pain, etc., I gotta go to Mariners, man, because they've had some really good seasons. They had Ichiro, they had Randy Johnson, they had King Griffey, and wasted all of those years.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the Indians have had some success, but they were in the AL, so they had to deal with certain things. But man, that's
Even when you go back to like the Mariners having that record
I
season.
mean, both from the AL, but
Yeah, when Mariners had that one season where they had like 116 wins or something like that.
That was like 01, I think. That was like 2001. Yeah. And then, like I said, man, Edgar Martinez, they've had so much talent over the years. And it's like they can't close the deal. And you just feel now that, okay, here we go, Houston, time for takeoff.
That's what it is. Houston was at the bottom, I do believe. Well, not at the not at the whole bottom, but they maybe the Angels and the Athletics were ahead of them at some point. But like you said, like these guys were left for dead, and whatever episode it was, we got to go back and we got to look at that.
Yeah. In fact, I think once I get back from ACC Media Day, I'm going to I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look for it.
I said
I'm going to look
that this team's got experience. Both teams got experience, but this team has experience. They just came off a run last year. If you think that this team is done at that point in the season, if you thought that team was done, you're crazy.
Well, here's the worst thing. You look at losing Dusty Baker, and they had so many adjustments. They had so many injuries at the beginning of the season. Now look at them. They're the Astros again. And you have to know that going into next year, you're not going to start off this slow. So you better get them now. You better get them now. Because if you don't, you're going to have a problem. Well, all right, Larry, let's go to our fourth topic. And this is a little bit, has to do with sports a little bit, but this is more of a video game topic. You can only choose one. Two got to go forever. Are you picking Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with CJ with his smiling looking self? Are you picking NCAA 06, which is one of my favorites of all time, or the classic Madden 05? Larry, well, you can only choose one. You can only play the game forever, starting today.
Give me that
Which
NCAA.
game? The NCAA?
Give me that NCAA.
Oh, man. Over the Madden? Over the Madden 05? The soundtrack? Bro, the soundtrack, you had John Madden in the game still. The soundtrack was just booming. I mean, that was one of my favorite games of all time. You know how many creative players, you know how many retired creative players I've had that have gone. I got running backs right now that got 40,000 yards. Shit, I had one year when I played for the Bucks. And bro, here's the thing about back then compared to now. And I know people try to bring nostalgia back with the new game and all that, bro. We used to take that so seriously. Like you would create your dynasty. You like if you didn't like you would simulate through the regular season, and then you would get to the playoffs. Like I gotta win a championship. You win that championship, you're all happy. You go into free agency, you pick your player, you do all that. Madden 05, man. Plus, here's the advantage. They had the hit stick, the real hit stick. I ain't talking about the hit stick they got now. I'm talking about the real hit stick. And then they had the stuff before like you do the practicing and all that, where you had like the actual practice jerseys on and all that. Madden 05, dog. But I feel a little bad though too because, man, San Andreas is that ish.
San Andreas was that.
It's just, bro. It's just something about getting up at midnight after taking a long nap, getting on the game. It's dark outside, and CJ about to go get the ballers.
And that mission that you've been failing on for the last couple days.
Bro, listen, don't laugh at me. I still haven't passed the plane mission.
Nah, I haven't either.
But no, I think the mission on San Andreas that killed me the most was at first when they had the train mission. We had to jump on the train, and man, I had to jump on the train. I had to do all this, and then I had to take Big Smoke's lion rat butt home. Big Smoke.
I think one thing about NCAA that maybe a lot of people might not agree, but to me, it was one of those like I like it. I love this. Is the roster. When you get to update the current rosters, because remember back in they was only going by numbers.
Exactly.
But the opportunity to create the roster, get somebody's roster and hope that roster was the right one.
Yeah. And plus, you gotta look at Madden 05 too, how much of a classic it was. You still had Jerry Rice in the game, I think. You had Ray Lewis, you had Ed Reed, you had the Redskins at the time with Sean Taylor. I mean, Cowboys had some sorry offense. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that was definitely one of those classic games, man. But yeah, so you say for sure, Matt, and me talk about NCAA real quick. Just great, man. Like just great. You know how many people I strip fumbled on that game? I mean, how many games I won 112 to nothing? Bro, I would do a whole creative player team. And listen, if I know you and you athletic and you didn't play sports, you're gonna be on my team. Of course, I'm the quarterback. I think one year I had like 20 interceptions. I think one year I had like 6. I think I broke the NCAA record for passing in my freshman year. I had like 7,000 passing yards, 105 touchdown passes, and I ran for like 2,000 yards.
I was creating my player to go to UVA because UVA.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Man, I went to But that's another game you used to take so seriously because you're like, yeah, especially like I had like Northern Illinois, and after like 3 or 4 years, we were able to get to the Big Ten. But my first year, I scheduled everybody. I scheduled Florida State, Tennessee. I scheduled all the team. I'm sitting back playing the game like I'm really playing the damn game. Like, oh yeah, this is the strategy. This is what you got to do. I mean, video games back then were just different. They were
Yeah,
just different, and PlayStation 2 is the greatest game console ever. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what you say, he say, she say. PlayStation 2 is the greatest game console I ever played.
I agree. I agree. But you know why it was those games were what you explained at the time.
Yeah.
You know why they were so good? We had no
What's
worries.
up?
We had no worries.
We had no worries. I mean, hell, we were listen, but that's funny, right? Because we were kids, but we were still living in the George Bush era. So I mean, so for us to have no worries, but we all worry now, then sheesh, we got some issues, brother. We got some issues. So let's get to our. Let me see, what topic are we on? Let me make sure I got all my topics. Okay, cool. Let's get to the fifth topic. You're gonna like this one. Is Angel Reese the new Anna Kournikova? I know some people are gonna get mad about it. I don't really care. Anna Kournikova got all the way up to number 8 in the world at one time in the tennis rankings. A lot of people forget about that in 2000. She doesn't have any singles championships, but Angel Reese, she does have championship. She has a championship, and she leads the league in double doubles. All right, Larry, tell the world, man. Tell everybody. But that's for later. We're gonna tell the world later. But how do you feel? Does Angel Reese belong in the category of the new Anna Kournikova?
As far as looks wise,
As far as looks, now her game is better, but as far as can we really name a female athlete in the past besides Serena? Because we all know Serena's and stuff, but I'm talking about as far as that slim beauty, you know what I mean? Like that very, very marketable player. Like unlike you said, Serena, that's a whole different story because she's on a category of her own. But do you think that she can bring that vibe to women's basketball and have men watching just to watch?
absolutely. Shit,
I
look at guys like me and you. Like, I mean, we sitting here tuning in just about every time. We sitting here pounding the table. Why is the sky not on ESPN? You know, uh,
why did you yo, I thought you was about to stop doing that, man. Hey, bro, we got to censor this, man. No. Oh my god! But no. But in all
no,
seriousness,
but
no, you're right though. But you're right though. We are pounding tables, and we're like, yo, where is the Chicago Sky? Like there are men and women out there who want to see Angel Reese because she's such a beautiful baller. Let's be honest. And like I said, Anna Kournikova was a type of player where she got number 8 in the world in 2000. She had her struggles, but she wasn't great, but she was decent. But the difference is Angel Reese is a champion. You know what I'm saying? And when you bring that championship mentality, even though people said coming into the league, oh, you have no skill, you can't really do this, you can't really do that. No. So she's proven everybody wrong, and she continues to prove them wrong. So
I like the word that continues to prove them wrong. What, 13 consecutive games, could maybe 14 consecutive games.
14, 15 consecutive games, and she had a double double in the All Star game last night.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on, man. It don't get no better than that. Plus, she got her team in a playoff position.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
most definitely.
I know it's currently 8th. It's right behind the Fever, but eh, you look at the Atlanta Dream, like they're 7-17. You look
Yeah,
at the guy like they're 10-14. There's still some time there. There's still some time there, but I mean to have your team in playoff position right now for you to create the stats that you're creating, playing the ball that you're playing. I think a lot of people that watch basketball, they look at the scoring factor. What can you do, and what are you doing as far as scoring?
Yeah,
The three ball. Angel Reese ain't shooting three like that.
yeah. Well, I
But
mean, her counterpart, which we're not going to mention till I'm not going to mention till a second from now. She's not shooting too great from 3-point land, and I'll talk about her. Basically, skipping out on 3-point contests. I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, you don't have to shoot threes. And the thing is about Angel Reese, all she has to do is learn from Asia Wilson. Look at Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson improved her game from three. Look at her now. She's the
yeah,
best player. She's the best player in the world. She's the MVP. There's no question about it.
and wait till those two are going to be balling in the off season. Like you
Oh
know
yeah,
they're going to be balling together because they remind each other. They remind you of each other.
yeah, yeah.
From
And I think the thing that burns me up the most is you have people actually criticize her for what she wears, but I'm like, didn't everybody complain about them not having a sex appeal athlete in the WNBA for all these years? So now you still complaining. So I just think people like to complain just to talk. I think people talk just to talk, complain just to complain.
you can't
That's how
please
I feel about it, Larry. That's how I feel about it.
these people out here.
You can't please them. You can't please them. Speaking of that, Larry, we have a new segment, and this is called "Man, Shut Your Ass Up." Larry, tell somebody right now in sports you want to tell them to shut their ass up.
I've been wanting Skip Bayless to shut the hell up for a long time now. Look at
No. You don't want him to shut the hell up. You want him to shut his ass up.
shut
Shut
his ass.
your ass up.
And FS1 definitely shut his ass up.
Man, shut your ass up. Who would I want to shut their mouth? Oh, that's easy. Look at this quote right here, Larry.
That's what.
So let me get this straight. You want to take a break. You should be taking a break, first of all, because your shooting percentage from 3-point land is horrible. That's what you're known for, logo threes. So now you're just the assist maker. So what are you, the next Steve Nash? Great. You win no championships. You know what I mean? Whoever your publicist, your people are, Caitlin, you don't say stuff like this. Do you think Asia Wilson is going to come out and say this? You think Angel Reese is going to come out and say this? You think Breanna Stewart, who won 4 national championships and has a few championships in this league, is going to say that? No, they're not. That's, and I don't know if this to be true, but that tells me you don't love the game all the way. That tells me somebody pushed you to play because you were good. Because what are you, 22, 23 years old? What are you resting for? So you're basically telling us that putting you on the Team USA was a waste of time. Would have been a waste of time. Because you need a rest. Imagine Michael Jordan saying that. Ever since everybody wants to speak Michael Jordan, this, Michael Jordan, that. Imagine Michael Jordan saying that, Larry. He needs a break. I need a break. Let's look at this quote again. I honestly can't wait to not touch a basketball for a while. Does that seem like somebody who's a champion to you? Honestly. Does that seem like somebody who's a champion?
Yeah.
No. And the thing is, her fan base cannot blame the media on this one. They can't blame the WNBA. You know why? Because she had a chance to go and participate in the 3-point shooting contest. But you know what she's going to do? She's going to wait to play with the men. You know why? She doesn't value the women. She thinks she's above them. And what does she want? In the words of Kyle from what's his name from what's the show, Larry, with the Wayne's brother, My Family. You remember the show I'm talking about?
Kids.
My Wife and Kids. In the famous words of Damon Wayans. No. When you talk about it's Caitlin Clark, you have to feel like she's really committed to winning. Nah. I'm sorry. Because if you look back at the national championship games, for example, you look at Arike Abumwale. She hit a game winner in the semifinals, hit a game winner in the championship game. And you remember the headline? You remember what I sent you earlier today that made you hot? That really got you going crazy? When they say Caitlin Clark and Enrique won the game, no. Enrique had 34. Caitlin had 4. So,
Why,
Kate,
why is her name on there?
exactly. Exactly. So Caitlin Clark, like her name had no business whatsoever being in any type of headline. Not whatsoever. And I
Did you
don't want go
did
ahead.
you see what I had sent you earlier with
Mm-hmm.
so they got what 2.2 billion in revenue.
Which is 200 million what a year, and that's nothing.
So like, all right, we talked about this numerous times on the show. So you know we are appreciative of the players in the past. We know what the players in the past can do. The players of the present, we know that there's so many players in this league that is better than Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the reason that they're getting the things that they're getting, you gotta look at it. It is because of her. Now, all of our opinions aside, but with her play on the court and all of our opinions, whatever. I feel like if it wasn't for her, like they would still be treating these young ladies the way that they're be treating them. The flights would still be the same. So I look at that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This is like, why didn't you value these people? And these are better women like Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson is the best player in the league. Best player in the world.
Hey, listen, you can easily say she's top 10, top 15 man or woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Easily.
And
Easily.
it takes somebody for it takes a no disrespect to her. Because I mean she's very skilled at what she does, but it takes a guard from Iowa that is a sweetheart in America. Everybody's tuned in.
Well,
We
here's
know
the
what it
thing about
is.
here's the thing about Caitlin Clark as well. People act like people want to have this narrative like Caitlin Clark came out of nowhere. She came up from the bootstraps. Caitlin Clark was a top 5 player in the nation.
Yes.
In the nation coming into college. It's not. This is not like this was the 200 ranked player and she came up and she did some. No, Caitlin Clark was good in high school. She was what? She was considered to be one of the great players coming into the league. I mean, into college. So this should be nothing new. And plus, people talking about Iowa never had this much. Iowa never had this much success. I challenge you. Go look at when Iowa beat Tennessee back in the day. But I believe lost to Ohio State. Look at what Cheryl Swoops did against with Texas Tech. Ugh, Texas Tech of all teams in the women's basketball realm. Come on now. I mean, we gotta keep things in perspective. It's okay to criticize Caitlin Clark. It's okay to criticize Angel Reese. We just asked you to do it responsibly. That's all we asked for. That's all we asked for. Now, Larry, I know we told them to shut the hell up, but we also need to tell the world how we feel. So let's tell them. All right, man. Tell the world how you feel, brother.
Uh, help with this one. How do you feel? How do I feel?
Yeah.
Biden stepping down.
You said what again?
So I'm gonna need your help with this one on telling the world how I feel about how Biden stepping down.
Wow. You know what? That was gonna be mine too. So, yeah. You know what's about to happen. The media is salivating. They're gonna talk about the race issue, the woman issue. Man, it is about to get crazy. All I know is because football is coming in less than 2 weeks. It may be a Hall of Fame game, but I don't care. I'm gonna enjoy that game because what's about to happen is about to be so crazy. If take what happened in '08 with President Obama and up that up by like 10. Yeah.
about to get real crazy.
Oh, it's
And
about to be. It's about to be very crazy.
it,
It's about to be very crazy.
and if you look at Trump's, like, if you look at his debate sometimes when he's on the podium, it's like there's no real issues that he has a solution for. It's blaming other people
Yeah,
or out like it's like, are you serious? Like, this guy is our president? Uh,
yeah,
but Kamala Harris, like, the insults are about to get.
yeah. Well, I remember there was one time I was saying Kamala Harris should be president of the United States. There was at one time I was talking about it, but the more I read her record, and the more I realized, I was like, damn, like we're in trouble regardless. We're in trouble regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because who knows what's gonna
Not
happen?
funny.
I mean, yeah, I mean, no, it's funny, but it's not funny, but it's funny because you just don't know what's gonna happen in the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. This country could look vastly different. They already got the robots out trying to take people's jobs. You know what I'm saying? And then this last couple of years has been so difficult with inflation. It's been difficult with people trying to go to the grocery store, trying to pay for life, trying to live life. So basically, from what I understand, they stopped giving money and they stopped donating. So he was like, you know what? I don't know why he's decided to step down. I mean, I can think some good reasons because of the debates and just because of his age. I think I said something about the next time he comes around, he would have been 86, something like that, 86, 87. So it's difficult, man. But like I said, my tell the world is this: get ready, get prepared. Um, they're about to hit us with a whole bunch of stuff. What that is, I couldn't tell you. But just keep your head on the swivel, protect your family, protect yourself, and just live life. But look, I want to let you guys know that I got ACC Media Day this upcoming week. Larry, let's let them know if you got anything coming out, sir.
This week, I'm going to be touching some uh high school sports this week. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be touching certain schools. I don't know what schools yet, but it has some photos, possibly some interviews, some highlights. Getting
Mm-hmm.
ready for the high school season in the James River District. Uh, yeah, that's what a little bit of what I got going on week.
Gotcha. And like I said, I got ACC Media Day tomorrow. I believe it's Florida State commissioners talking. Then on Tuesday we got Virginia Tech, and of course Wednesday we got the Miami Hurricanes, which should be interesting. I'll jump for joy once I get in the car, but while I'm there, I'll be professional because unfortunately that's my team. So yeah, guys, for Rob Johnson, for Larry Patterson, you guys have a good night and pray for America. That's all I can tell you.